This is the Real Change Wilmington podcast, episode 41, Clinton's Swim and Tennis Club, with our guests today, Jeff Linkous and Stephanie Hughes.
My two girls have grown up and moved to Cincinnati, but them going to the pool every day and being part of that and seeing how important it is, that's what keeps me going is watching the kids. Even though my kids aren't going there anymore, watching all the other kids come there, I feel that's important.
What is going on, everyone? This is your host of the Real Change Wilmington podcast, Dustin Pierce, joined with my co-host,
Tara Harris.
Real Change is a positive, constructive, and lighthearted source of local news, events, and resources. In our podcast, we interview leaders of local organizations to help squash rumors and encourage a greater sense of pride in our community. Before we get started with our podcast today, Tara, how's your life going?
It's going well. Yesterday, I received my final grades for Berkeley, and I now have a professional certification in music production. So I'm glad to have that finished. It was really stressful.
How did you acquire that?
Online. They have an online course for that. It took me a while. I'm honestly glad to have it finished.
Nice. I have my professional degree in the streets.
Oh, yeah?
In the hoods. I don't know what's worth more these days.
Yeah. One you pay for, one you earn the other way.
Yeah, got a tattoo out my shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, you gonna ask about my life?
No. Yes, I'm going to ask you.
Right. So the fun life update last weekend, my nephews turned 1 and 3. So my sister had a SpongeBob themed birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
And my brother and I were SpongeBob and Patrick. She always suckers us in to dress up.
Did you end up being SpongeBob?
I did. I wore one of those blow-up costumes, and I about died in the sun.
Sweating.
It was so hot. It was so hot. But it was fun. I love those guys.
Did you do the laugh? Did you like...
I had a speaker inside the costume with me, and my sister had a little soundboard of SpongeBob sounds that she played. So
That's really smart.
my favorite was like the "rip my pants" quote. I ripped my pants again. What did you enjoy most about our interview with Jeff and Steph at the pools?
Learning about the history of the pools, definitely, because I had absolutely no idea when the pools were founded, how it was founded. Just knowing that it was built by the community was really nice to know.
Yeah, I really loved the story that Jeff shared. A funny story. I won't spoil it for the podcast, but
Yeah.
he shares a pretty funny story about the pool's history. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into our podcast with Jeff and Steph. Jeff and Steph? Is that how you guys go by? Jeff and Steph? Steph and Jeff?
We've never gone by it.
Yeah.
They just rolled off my tongue.
But yeah, Jeff and Steph.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat about the pools. But before we get into that, we like to just get a background about you guys. So tell us about your story. Jeff, do you want to start first? Because you started your life first.
Oh.
Take us way back, Jeff.
Yeah, I came to Clinton County as the deputy county engineer back in 1980, right out of the University of Cincinnati Engineering School, and grew up in Lebanon. So moved over here in 1980 and have been here ever since. Deputy engineer for 28 years, and I've been county engineer for 16 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born here and
You're still here.
I'm still here. And I met my husband, who's not from Wilmington, but he says it's a great place to live. So we are still here. Went to Wright State for college, lived at home.
What did you study?
My degree's in organizational leadership.
Okay.
And we have 4 kids now, and they go to school here.
What ages are your kids?
I have a 15-year-old girl, 10-year-old boy, 7-year-old boy, and an 18-month-old girl.
Oh.
So kids are everywhere. That's why we love the pool.
What do you do for work?
I currently am managing a storage facility in town.
Awesome. So what do you do for fun?
We have lots of friends who also have lots of kids, and they keep things pretty entertaining. We play pickleball quite a bit, play cards.
Cards?
I'm a euchre shark.
Euchre shark.
Yeah,
What's euchre?
cards.
What's
a euchre? Are you
Explain
from
it
the
to me.
Midwest?
Oh my gosh.
Whole nother program, whole nother podcast.
We'll have to teach you.
It should be Clinton Swim, Tennis, and Euchre.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We've had euchre tournaments there.
Ah,
Outside?
we should do it.
Yeah.
What better place is there?
I think we got something
Okay.
this
Yeah.
summer. Just scheduled this summer.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll teach you how to play this summer.
Okay. I'll have to be there to educate myself.
Okay.
So I do more sports. I play volleyball, tennis, pickleball, swim.
That's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, try to stay active.
You play beach volleyball?
I've played a little bit of sand volleyball, but I play indoor volleyball. I still play on an age group team. We recently finished second in the World Huntsman's Games in 60 and over.
Nice. What position do you play?
I'm a setter.
Nice. I used to play volleyball.
All
You
right.
can't tell.
Yeah.
Any sport you probably played, right?
A little bit because of my height.
Mm-hmm. Did you already mention, Jeff, that you went to Lebanon Swim Club growing up?
Yeah, we grew up in Lebanon, and there's a swim club almost exactly like this swim club, members and memberships, and then it was built by stockholders that pooled together and built the pool, same as here in Wilmington. From what I know, my mom would take me when I was a baby to the pool and put me under the shade, but I can remember being small and being there every summer, practically lived there at the Lebanon Swim Club. So very similar to what we've got here.
I'm from Lebanon also, kind of. Is it still there? I've never been to the pool there.
Nope. Now there are condominiums there.
Okay.
I think I told you the Countryside YMCA opened back in, I want to say 79, 80 area. And the swim club struggled when that opened because they had the Y open with a pool and tennis courts. And then made a little bit of a comeback. And then I don't know what year they finally couldn't make it, but probably sometime in the 80s, they were unable to keep surviving there. So they sold the property off, and now there's condominiums.
One question we ask before we get into the meat and potatoes of the podcast is, what's a defining moment of your life? This is the question that Steph was dreading. What's a defining moment of your life that made you who you are or helped shape your personality and values?
So I don't know if it defined my values because I
Sure.
think growing up, a lot of good things happened at Lebanon. And probably the change in my life was when I was going to college. I had applied at UC for engineering and at Purdue University for engineering, and I was planning on going to Purdue University. And we went up there and they had a shortage of housing. So we went up to look for housing. Not a very good trip, trying to decide whether to go ahead and go to Purdue or go to Cincinnati. And I'd already been accepted at both. My hope was to go to Purdue, but seeing that might not work out. A friend of mine who I played tennis with in high school, his dad was a Purdue graduate and currently a professor at University of Cincinnati. So I called his dad and talked to him about both schools. And he said that, both are good schools. Here's the pluses on Purdue. Here's the pluses on Cincinnati. You can't go wrong. If you can't get into Purdue or it's not working out at Purdue, you'll be fine in Cincinnati. So that kind of helped me get my mind on, hey, this will work out either way. And the friend of mine that I had talked to his dad, his name is Rick Armstrong, and his father's name is Neil Armstrong. So that was a change where I decided to go to UC, which probably is why I'm here today in Clinton County.
That's awesome. You tell that story very well. You build it up to like this big crescendo. It's amazing. Now it's Steph's turn.
real. Well, I thought about this a lot after we talked, and I think any woman who's a mother would say having her children is a defining moment in her life because it changes everything. But I think personally, probably the most defining moment of my life was in college when I got saved and started walking with Jesus, because I really did change who I was, and the direction I was going was not as cool as the direction I'm headed now.
So what was your reasonings for making that decision?
Life was just really hard before. I mean, I have a relationship with Jesus and it got much easier.
Awesome. So what brought you guys to the swim and tennis club?
My mom made me go when I was a kid for swim practice every morning, and it was freezing cold, and I can't wait to torture my own children that way again this summer. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's where we started.
Okay.
It's the best part.
Kids are going to hear this,
That's okay. They know. It makes you a stronger person. Go get in the cold water. Go.
And then how did you get involved as a board member then later on?
Somebody stepped down off the board and there was a vacancy, and it was a summer where there were just gaps that I could see that I wanted to help fill. So
We recruited her.
yeah, I was willing, and they had a place for another board member. And so now I'm the vice president of the board, actually. I got voluntold that this year. So, but it's good.
And for me, it was a natural thing when we came over here and had kids, and there's a swim club, and we joined because it was very similar to what I grew up with. I played tennis, swim out there quite a bit. And again, as you got more involved, they're like, hey, could you be on the board when, somebody's left or whatever, they need someone to fill in. And I also spent a lot of time on the board, moved up, was president for a few years, and then stepped down. And then our treasurer left. So I volunteered to be the treasurer. and have been there as treasurer for 20 years. So
We'd be lost without Jeff.
Jeff, can you give us a little bit of a history about the pools as much as you know?
from what I know of, and it happened back in, I believe, 1956, a group of people were wanting to have a pool. There wasn't a public pool. So they put together a group and sold stock, essentially. And I think it was around 200 families to all put money in with the idea of to build a pool so that they could all go. I mean, there weren't a lot of pools at home those days, so this was their way to get a pool. Originally, it was going to be built out on Prairie Avenue, and there were some issues with drainage and groundwater and such. It ended up going out to Nelson Avenue and opened, I believe, in 1957. And then tennis courts were added later. I don't know the exact years. I think it was in the 70s that the tennis courts got added.
And pickleball courts in 2023.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sand volleyball court back in 20 years ago. We put a sand volleyball court.
What kind of events do you guys host?
Well, first of all, we have a swim team.
I would hope
That's-
so.
Clinton County Barracudas.
Yeah, that's very good and has competed for years and produced a lot of kids that are swimming at different high schools, produced at least one state champion in swimming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big part of our club. Activities, we've had everything from campouts, triathlons, we had euchre tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
we have family nights, moonlight swims,
Bonfires.
We actually had an Olympics one year, swim Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do that again this year.
What does that entail?
We had events all laid out and had all the kids participate in Olympic-style events, everything from some swimming with their noodles, so not true Olympic events, a little bit of the Olympics taste.
You mean Michael Phelps doesn't swim from noodle at one of his meets?
See, we'd probably beat him if he had to use it.
We have to slow things down.
But yeah, movie nights, they had kids camp out overnight
That's cool.
there. I've had plenty of tennis tournaments over the years there, birthday parties. We've hosted some other groups that have rented the pool.
Yeah,
As part of
anybody
that.
can rent the pool.
Really? They can rent the whole thing out for a day?
Well, you can have a party in our pavilion,
Yeah.
but you can,
After hours.
after hours, from 9 to 11 p.m., have a moonlight swim with all your friends.
How much does that cost?
That'd be a great question for our
Treasurer?
board president, Nicole, who knows everything.
It is very reasonable. A member has to reserve it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much an hour plus paying for the guards.
The guard, yeah.
It's a reasonable amount. I mean,
Yeah.
We do have a schedule.
Yeah,
Just don't have it off the top of our head.
it's on our website.
And you guys, last time we talked, said you had a giant slip and slide that you do sometimes?
Oh, that's on family night. We put a slip and slide down the back hill. And if we left it up, they'd be using it for hours.
Yeah, everyone comes off covered in Dawn dish soap and grass, but they have a ton of fun going down the big slip and slide at the back of the property.
Nice. Is it aimed inside the pool or no?
No,
Nope.
Could be dangerous, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
not sure we could do that with all the soap. It's a lot of soap
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the grass in the pool.
in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big piece of plastic and water and a lot of Dawn soap.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the greatest challenges that your organization has faced in its history and how you overcome these things? We talked last time about the liner was a project at one point. That was a big thing.
Well, because it's now a 67-year-old pool, 15 years ago, it's a concrete pool. It was built in the 50s, and there's a lot of maintenance that goes with that. I mean, not just the piping and everything else that had to be done over the years, but, you have to repatch it and paint it every so many years. So we went ahead and did a liner 15 years ago, rubber liner, because trying to keep water in the pool and all the leaks and having to patch it every year, that was a way to maybe revamp it, rehab it. And we also did the apron around the pool, the concrete around the pool. There were areas that were broken up or starting to be bad. So that was a two-part project. We redid the concrete work and we put in a new liner in the pool. The liner is only warranted for about 10 years, and now it's almost 15 years old. So we're looking to have another project to put a liner back in again. So trying to be able to afford to do that and try to keep membership up. And, we're a volunteer board and do a lot of things to help pool to survive. And it's trying to get members and trying to keep up, and we want to keep it going. We've seen other pools of our size in other communities that have not been able to make it. Blanchester lost their pool. Hillsborough just closed their pool. There's some other rural pools that they're struggling. That's our biggest struggle is we're trying to keep it open and keep it going. And, it's for the families and for people in Clinton County and Wilmington. And we think it's important to have a local pool like this.
Yeah, I was going to ask, why is it important for our community? Because there is options like drive to Kings Island or whatever. So why is the pool so important for the community? What would you say?
I'd say a big part of it's local.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have something local to go to. We do swim lessons, tennis lessons. Swimming lessons are huge. Every child that comes to the pool can get swim lessons. And we also allow non-members to be part of our swim lessons. That's huge to me, that every kid should learn how to swim.
Yeah.
And so I think it's real important. And as I said before, that the swim team, some of those kids have gone on to swim on swim team and go even further. So that's really important. The other thing is your family going there and being together. And, it's close enough where family can just run over for a few hours and do things together.
Yeah, I completely agree. We just live across the street. So a lot of times we just go for an hour or two. And, my husband gets off work and then he'll skateboard over to the pool. And everything is just really community minded at the pool. And
How is your husband?
how old?
Yeah.
42.
I don't know, people still skateboard unless they're like kids.
I'm sorry. He will want me to correct that and say longboard.
Oh,
okay.
He and my
Yes.
daughter both do the longboard.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, it's close to the neighborhoods, two pretty good sized neighborhoods in
Mhm.
town. So lots of kids walk to our pool. And, we have Kings Island passes too. And my kids love to go to Kings Island, but you can't just run to Kings Island for an hour from Wilmington.
Yeah.
And you're not running into all of your classmates at Kings Island. So it's
Sure.
really important to our kids because we go to the pool during the day and a lot of classmates, a lot of kids from the community, from their rec teams that they wouldn't see
Mm-hmm.
if they didn't go. Because if they're not in their class, they don't see them. So we see lots of people at the pool and they have friends that they only see at the pool. So I think it's a really important part of the community.
For maintaining relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids have had friends that didn't know how to swim, and it really impacts their life. Elementary and middle school age kids that didn't know how to swim. Socially, it's difficult for them in the summer when
Yeah.
there's lots going on and everybody's at the pool and they can't come, or they have to sit by the side, or they have to stay in the shallow end. And that is challenging for kids. Swimming is a priority.
Mm-hmm.
And you do baby classes.
We've done baby classes.
Mm.
I don't think they were last year. It depends on whether we have somebody who can do that. But
And
Yeah.
mommy and me classes
Yeah.
they've done, or daddy and me classes. We have great swim instructors. Our lifeguards are all there.
it's a good point too. So we have a lot of families and kids that have grown up there. Their first job may be working at the counter.
Hmm.
They get on the swim team. They become a lifeguard. They teach swim lessons.
Mm.
The kids that are on the swim team and good swimmers help teach swim lessons, become guards. Some of them have become managers. So a lot of kids, that's their first job is at the
It's
pool.
pretty popular too. I think there's some kind of social hierarchy if you can be working at the counter, because every year we get lots of applications for 14-year-olds who want a job and they work at the counter, and then we get fewer applications for the lifeguard. That's not quite as social because you have to sit in your chair by yourself. So it's a big deal
Okay.
to be 14 working at the pool,
Nice.
getting
Status.
paid. Yeah. Status.
So a stigma, I guess, about the pools is that it's expensive and the membership is confusing. There's just like some general nonsense that you hear in the community. So how would you address that? From what you said last time, it's not very expensive. It's a very affordable option. And the membership seems pretty clear from what you said. So can you explain to me the pricing and the membership structure is what I'm asking?
We do have different levels of membership for youth, family, single,
Senior.
senior.
Yeah.
But we do have also two options. You can be a non-stockholder, and that's a certain level of membership, certain price. And then you can become a stockholder. In other words, you're one of the members who owns the pool,
Mm-hmm.
and you get a discount of $50 off your membership if you're a stockholder.
Okay.
So that's the two different ones. You don't have to be a stockholder to join, but if you're going to join for many years, you will save some money by being a stockholder.
So a family membership, if we just look at non-stock membership rates, which if anyone is ever interested in buying stock, we'd be happy to talk through it. But it's $395 plus tax for a family membership, which is anybody
For a year, right?
for the season. Yeah.
For season.
And I don't know what it costs to open a private pool, but I know a few people who have private pools, and they say that that's cheaper than it is to open their own personal pool every year with the chemicals and chlorine and
yeah,
upkeep
yeah.
and all that. So, I mean, in that aspect, I think it should be a good deal.
How long is the season?
Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Essentially 3 months.
Yeah.
So this year we'll open the 25th of May and we'll go all the way to the 2nd of September.
So it's like approximately
Fair.
$30 a month per person if you had a family of 4.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
seems like a pretty decent price for a fun thing to do over the summer.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we have memberships for just single people and we have memberships for just kid. So if you have just
Youth.
one child, like a teenager that wants to spend the summer at the pool, that's also an option.
And that was
And-
the pricing for non-members, right? So if it was a member, it'd be even cheaper than that.
If you're a
stockholder?
it would be
Yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah, the stockholder price is $332 plus tax. But year over year, you end up saving.
Okay.
To compare to swim clubs closer to Cincinnati or Dayton, they're more expensive than what we are. We're trying to keep it to be a value for a family, trying to keep it to be a value for Clinton County. We can't charge what the swim clubs down in Cincinnati can charge. So
For sure.
that's where we're trying to make sure the rates are enough that we can keep going, but we want people to join. I mean, it's important that it be a reasonable amount that they can join.
Yeah.
What keeps you guys passionate about the pool and being on board member?
I know my kids grew up there, so I know where she's going to go too. But my 2 girls have grown up and moved to Cincinnati, but them going to the pool every day and being part of that and seeing how important it is, that's what keeps me going is watching the kids. Even though my kids aren't going there anymore, watching all the other kids come there, I feel that's important.
Yeah, and it's pretty exciting to open the pool and see it fill with water. Know that summer's right around the corner, and sometime around the end of June, it gets warm enough for me to tolerate being in the pool. But my kids will be in on the first day, so
You push them in.
we'll know. I'll let their swim coaches do that. Yeah.
Wow. There's some funny stories that you guys told me about the pools. One having to do with a truck driving into the pool. We got to tell this story. And I think it's a story Jeff should tell.
I got a call from our manager years ago, and he said, "You're not going to believe this. You've probably never seen this before." And I said, "What?" He said, "There's a pickup truck in the pool." I'm like, "Kids pickup truck? What do you mean?" He's like, "No, somebody drove a pickup truck into the pool." And we got out there, and they had evidently taken the truck and pushed over the fence and somehow got in. And then we saw that they had driven it in and it went right into the pool and right on down into the deep end. And of course, had the police come out and had people come and, insurance company contacted them and everything. As far as we know, apparently it was a dispute between a boyfriend, girlfriend, I think. The girlfriend took the boyfriend's truck and put it in the pool. We did find that there was a stick on the accelerator, so they must have gotten it lined up and then put a stick on the accelerator and let it go into the pool. And
Wow.
so there was nobody in it when it went in the pool.
Yeah. We've never had anything like
Never
that.
had anything like
since
that. We
Either,
had to
so.
drain the whole pool because of anything from the truck that could have been
Mhm.
contaminated. So we ended up draining the pool and refilling it, cleaning it and refilling it. So hopefully we never have something like that again. Pretty sure they caught him, but we never heard what the outcome was, whether anybody went to jail or anything like that. But don't
Yeah.
drive your pickup into the pool.
Right.
All right.
It's 180,000 gallons of water goes into the pool.
That sounds like a lot.
Takes like 2 days
Wow.
to fill the pool.
It takes 48 hours to fill it.
Yeah. And it's not with a garden hose. People ask that every year.
How is it
You just-
filled?
There's a 1-inch line
Special line that,
that serves the pool.
Really?
but every year they say, do you just put the hose in the pool?
Yeah.
That would take a long time.
It's like a week.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So this next section is fun for me.
Oh, no.
What's a piece of wisdom or a quote that's helped guide your life or impacted your life that you'd want to share with other people?
Well, there's 2. My mom always says, in the absence of clear direction, do nothing. Just wait until clear direction makes itself more apparent. I think that's a good one. And then the other thing I think of when you asked me that was the always be kind even to yourself. So we've spent a lot of time thinking about other people, but it's also important to be kind to yourself.
How does that first quote play out in your life? Because that seems like counterintuitive to what I would think is what you should do.
Well, I really work hard to not be making quick decisions. I like to think things through 10 different times. I'm an Enneagram 6. I don't know if you know about the Enneagram.
Yeah, the demonic thing.
No,
I'm just kidding.
is.
I'm
No.
giving you a hard time. What it is. don't know what 6 means, though.
Oh, 6. I'm a 6. So if you take the little test.
Is that a perfectionist? What is
No,
six?
no. It's like I have to make sure everyone is in agreement with the decisions I make. It
Oh.
drives Travis crazy. If you don't know exactly what you want to do, just wait it out in the right direction will become more apparent.
Okay.
So it's just more
Like
patience.
it's a patience-based way.
Mine is persistence.
Yeah.
My quote is this: nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race.
Love it. And the next question, also semi-philosophical. This is the worst for you. What does real change mean to you, and what does real change look like to you? I like what you said last time at coffee. You mentioned we'd like to see our schools get better in our community.
Just from things I've seen and heard, I think our schools can do a better job and do better with our kids. I would like to see that change to where we put a lot of effort into making our schools better and better, because it's going to make our community better and our kids better.
Mm-hmm.
What year did Airborne leave? 2008.
8.
So I was in college, and a lot of people my age that live in Wilmington, I think we have sort of a negative perspective on staying in Wilmington and raising our families here and being here, that there's nothing to do and it's not a great place to live. And I think some of the change for our town needs to happen in the mindset of people who are living here. It is a great place. It's 45 minutes from whatever you want, but also you can sit on your front porch and watch the sunset and big farm fields that are beautiful. It is a safe place. It is a happy place. It is what you make it. And I think fun things to do in the summer, like the pool, are part of really enjoying what our community has to offer.
I like the mind shifts change.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if people want to get in contact with you or visit, how would they do that?
You can email clintonswimtennisclub@gmail.com. Once we're open after Memorial Day, you can call 937-382-7838, or you can stop by and see us. We have a manager there all the time, and they can connect anybody to whatever they're looking for, whether it's membership or swim lessons or tennis and pickleball lessons. We'll offer all that stuff this summer.
And you can go to our website,
Oh.
which is
Clinton-
www.clinton.tennisclub.com.
Awesome. Anything else before we go?
Plan on being at the pool.
Awesome. Thanks for what you do for our community. See ya. Well, that's it for our podcast today. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Jeff Linkous and Stephanie Hughes over at Clinton Swim and Tennis Club. If you have more questions for them, feel free to reach out to them directly. If they'll talk to us two dorks, they will talk to anyone. Remember, we're a community of empowered individuals. So, Tira, if people want to get in touch with Real Change Wilmington, how would they do that?
You can contact us on our website at realchangewilmington.com, visit our Facebook and Instagram pages, or grab a free copy of our local newspaper at Kroger, Sam's Meat, and Fiesta Veracruz. We also currently send our newspaper direct mail to over 2,500 Wilmington residents, so if you want to help us cover our printing cost and advertise your local businesses, events, or job posting, please email us at advertise@realchangewilmington.com.
Very cool. With that, I'm your host, Dustin Pierce.
And I'm your co-host, Tira Harris.
Keep it real, Wilmington.